This is Optimal Startup Daily, episode 144, 10 Things That Immediately Happen When Real Leadership Shows Up, Part 2, by Benjamin Hardy of benjaminhardy.com. And I'm Dan, I am your host here on the podcast, and I read to you every single day, helping you to optimize your business life. We find the best authors and the best blogs on entrepreneurship, and then we put them into audio form for you. And thank you to Email Octopus. They give you the tools you need for email marketing, including customizable sign-up forms, autoresponders, and list segmentation. A user-friendly platform that's quick to get set up and easy to navigate. That's what we loved about it. And right now, Email Octopus is offering Optimal Startup Daily listeners 50% off of their first month. So visit emailoctopus.com/OSD or quote code OSD50 at sign-up. For 50% off of your first month of email marketing, visit emailoctopus.com/OSD or quote that code OSD50 at sign-up. Today I've got a continuation post from yesterday, so I would recommend listening to yesterday's show first if you haven't done that already. But if you have and you're all caught up, let's hear part 2 as we continue optimizing your life. 10 Things That Immediately Happen When Real Leadership Shows Up, Part 2, by Benjamin Hardy of benjaminhardy.com. 6. A radical and permanent change in the environment and culture. Quote, "Man is not the creature of circumstances. Circumstances are the creatures of men. We are free agents, and man is more powerful than matter." Benjamin Disraeli. Most people work from the outside in. They focus on the external environment and thus would take people out of the slums in hopes to improve their lives. Conversely, as a true leader, you work from the inside out. You focus on the person and thus take the slums out of the people and empower them to take themselves out of the slum so they can improve their own lives. Most people focus on behavior. True leadership focuses on human nature. As a leader, you know a person's environment and behaviors are merely a reflection of them. If you change the person, they'll change their own environment to match their new values and identity. As you show up as a leader and establish and exemplify a new standard of excellence, your environment immediately changes to match your internal reality. You create an environment that reinforces what you're trying to accomplish, making your success automatic. 7. Focus on values, principles, and philosophies over specific behaviors. In the book Tribal Leadership, Dave Logan and John King distinguish organizations based on their tribal culture. Most cultures focus on specific behaviors and practical applications. However, according to Logan's and King's extensive research, the most innovative organizations are not guided by behaviors, but rather by values and principles. When you're doing what's never been done before, there is no map or instruction book. Thus, you're guided by ideals, and your behavior adjusts to meet the unique contexts you find yourself in. And that's the difference. When you really show up as a leader, you instinctively place an enormous emphasis on teaching and learning. The human capital around you is everything. The better your people become, as people, not employees or followers, the more successful and impactful you will all be. 8. Any perception of independence is replaced with connection and extension. Most people focus on individual behaviors and thus view themselves as independent entities. However, when you become a leader, you recognize the interconnectedness of everyone you lead. Each and every person is an extension of each other. Each person lifts where they stand and fulfills their specific duty. Without each member, it all falls apart. Independence is a broken concept and has no place in real leadership. Being interdependent is where you want to be. 9. An obsessive focus on the nuts and bolts, the fundamentals, creates an expectation of ensuring success. Quote, "Just as the yin-yang symbol possesses a kernel of light in the dark and of dark in the light, creative leaps are grounded in a technical foundation." Josh Waitzkin. It's all about the fundamentals. The better you get at the basics, the more confident you will be. Like happiness, you don't pursue success directly. Instead, you focus on perfecting your performance, and as famous football coach Bill Walsh says, the score takes care of itself. You don't have to worry about the outcome when you master the nuts and bolts. Success takes care of itself. You just do work that's so good it can't be ignored. You focus on becoming a true professional in every sense of the word. Success becomes an organic and natural consequence of something much more important, who you are. 10. Embrace failure as the path to victory. Quote, "If I fail more than you do, I win." Seth Godin. Failure is the path to your greatest success, and you will fail. You will fail hard if you really want to succeed. It will sometimes be hard to pick yourself back up, and in your deepest despair, you'll confront your future as the leader you are rather than wallowing in the past like so many do. The past is over. It's behind you. You are in this moment, and this moment is what's going to make you. Picking yourself up and continuing after big failures is the most important aspect of your personal development as a leader. Your personal confidence will be strengthened and solidified. You will begin to believe you can achieve anything. Here are Bill Walsh's 10 rules for failure. Expect defeat and don't be surprised when it happens. Force yourself to stop looking back on the past. Allow yourself some time to recover and mourn your loss, but not too long. Tell yourself you are going to stand and fight again. You're actually far closer to your destination than you can imagine. Prepare yourself for the next encounter, your next battle, one game at a time. Don't ask, "Why me?" Don't expect sympathy from others. Don't complain. Don't keep accepting condolences from others. And don't blame others. So in conclusion, the moment you're ready to become a leader, you will experience these changes almost immediately in your life. You are a magnet, and your environment directly responds to your inner world. Are you ready to become a leader? You just listened to part 2 of the post titled 10 Things That Immediately Happen When Real Leadership Shows Up by Benjamin Hardy of benjaminhardy.com. Thanks to Gusto for sponsoring this episode. I've shared some of what small business owners have said. Now, here are some more real people that you might not have heard yet. Tom S. says, "Gusto has allowed my small company to offer big-time benefits without an HR department." And that's been true for us too, actually. Here at Optimal Living Daily, we feel like we have a full-time payroll and HR department that can offer benefits, all thanks to Gusto. Laura L. says, "With Gusto, even my employees are impressed with how easy their new hire paperwork is." Also true for us here at Optimal Living Daily. When we switched over to Gusto, I had to do the new hire paperwork, and yeah, it was a breeze. Super fast, easy, and I didn't need any additional instructions or help. And here's what Brian L. says. "Gusto is super simple and easy to use. I've used multiple other payroll processes, and there's nothing like this out there." And the list goes on. Right now, our listeners get 3 months free when they go to gusto.com/OSD. Yep, 3 months of payroll, benefits, admin, and more, totally free. Again, that's gusto.com/OSD. gusto.com/OSD. And thanks again to Benjamin. Now, as I mentioned yesterday after I read part 1, he's an organizational psychologist and was the #1 writer on Medium, where he shares a ton of articles covering personal development, willpower, and much more. And those types of articles are regularly featured on the podcast Optimal Living Daily. So if you like Benjamin's style, but you want to hear his take on building habits, motivation, willpower, and more, check out that show. Again, that's Optimal Living Daily, which you can find wherever you're hearing this just by searching for it. And make sure to hit that subscribe button too, wherever you get your podcasts, to get new episodes for free. And that's going to do it for the Sunday episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks as always for being here, and have yourself a great rest of your day. And I will see you back here tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.